Alice Heiman is a sales expert with 20 years in the game, and here are her 5 steps to thriving in sales.
The world is so small, but yet so big, right? So we have a company that has a product, and we think everybody knows who we are, and they know our brand, and they know what we sell, and they know all about us. But the truth is, most of the people that you're calling on don't. So part of the positioning is to start with getting people to know who you are. So you've got your target audience, and then you have to build awareness. Now, marketing and sales need to collaborate to do this. So building the personal brand is important, building the company brand is important, getting the information out there. But as an individual, what I can do to build my own brand is absolutely critical. And I think that many salespeople and business owners out there are not taking full advantage. Now, social media has been around a long time now. It's not something new anymore. And it is an easy way for us to show that we're experts in our industry. But I think that people are not capitalizing on this. So it doesn't matter what industry I'm in. I need to be a learner. I need to be a seeker of information. I need to be out there showing people that I'm a learner and that I share good information. So how do you do that? Well, you've got to stay on top of your industry news. You've got to stay on top of what's going on in your own company, of course. And then you have to stay on top of what's happening in your customers' industries. So maybe you're in the lighting industry and you're selling, to big commercial venues where they're going to buy lots of lighting, and it's a very complex sale and there are a lot of people involved. Well, first you need to appear as a lighting expert, an expert in your field. So you're going to follow your own industry. But then your customers are in the construction industry. So you need to follow the construction industry and see what's driving that as well. Then you have to become an expert in each specific customer. So once you've made your list of who you're targeting, then you want to follow those companies, watch them, read about them, learn about them individually, learn about their industries, their challenges, and take the knowledge that you have and that you're gaining every day and apply that against it. So on social media, that's pretty easy because you can post great articles about your industry and maybe how it's affecting their industry. You can ask good questions that get people rallied around you and giving you answers about things that matter. For example, again, in the lighting industry, there's a lot of talk about how lighting affects productivity, how lighting affects people. There are cities putting in a lot of legislation about lighting. So you would want to be an expert in that, and you would want to share that information with others. And so that gets them to know you as an expert. And if you have targeted the right people on your social media and you're following them and interacting with them, they're going to see some of the good articles you're posting. That's how you're going to build your brand. That's how you're going to show up as an expert online. I think that what I see is people are casting too wide of a net. They're not targeting their audience narrowly enough, and they're not diving in deep enough. Because another add-on, which I might have mentioned or not, was you need to know your customer's customer. Right? So let's go to medical devices again. So you're selling to a big hospital, but it's also the surgeons within the hospital. And you have to understand, so what would the hospital's goal be in bringing this new technology that you're selling to their surgeons? What can the surgeons do with this technology, and how does it affect their customer, which is their patient? And what are their goals for their patient, and what are their patient's goals? The less focused we can be on the product and the more focused we can be on the outcomes that the key people are going to receive, I think the better we are against our competition and the more deep relationships we can build with people. Because again, with a doctor or even in construction or what, doesn't matter what field you're in, the person that you're selling to wants to win. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel good about the decisions they made. They want to keep their job. They want to keep their clients. They have a lot of things on their mind. And it's really our job to understand how they will win. And these surgeons will win when the procedures are easier, when their patients recover faster, when their patients have more confidence, when they have more confidence. So if they have more confidence in the tools that they're using to perform these surgeries, Imagine the outcomes. And we know that happy people are more productive and more successful. And so if we look at the surgeon and say, how can we make them happier? Well, certainly they would be happier if the surgeries didn't take as long, if the outcomes were better, if the tools they were using did not fail. All of these kinds of things will make them happier and more productive. And then they'll get better outcomes, which means happier patients. We know happier patients heal faster. We know happier patients live longer. We know they'll come back and recommend their doctor. So all those good things come out, but we stay focused on this product does this and this product does that. And yeah, well, all the other products do that too. So I need to dig in and figure out what is going to matter to you and what is going to matter to the people that you serve. Getting positioned better is going to shorten your sales cycle almost always. In almost every case, if you are better positioned, you will shorten your sales cycle. Whether you win the deal or lose the deal, it will go faster if you are better positioned. And either one outcome is good, because if I'm going to lose it, I want to lose it and keep moving on and get to some other stuff that I'm going to win. So our goal is to get positioned to move the sale forward. So we don't put our sales reps in a good position to do that, because we don't give them everything they need, and we don't insist or hold them accountable for learning about our industry, learning about their customers' industries, how those industries interact. We don't teach them how to care about the person that they're selling to and whether they win or not, whether they get what they want out of this. We don't teach them how to think about the customer's industry, the customer's goals, and the customer's customers. We're just not giving them that training, and we're not expecting it, and we're not showing them even any way to get that information. I think we are absolutely hurting ourselves. We're not differentiating ourselves in any way. That's number one. So you fall into the pool with all the other fools who are out there sending bad email and leaving bad voicemail messages and spamming me on LinkedIn. So do you want to be in that pile, or do you want to be in the pile where you're differentiated from everyone else? So that's just my first question to all of you who are doing this. Where do you want to be positioned in the marketplace? As someone who's spamming everyone, or as someone who cares about individuals and cares about their goals and cares about whether they get what they want? So I think that's just the first question. Now, does email work? Does cold calling work? Do these spammy LinkedIn messages work? Well, to some degree they do. And so clients will tell me that, well, we got a really big deal doing this. Well, you have 10 SDRs sitting there. You got one really big deal, 10 SDRs, one really big deal. I'm having trouble with those odds. So what I want to do is increase the odds. So the number one way to get positioned off the gate really well is to get an introduction. And so I think we always forget that. And my good friend, Joanne Black, who wrote No More Cold Calling and Just Pick Up the Damn Phone, she is constantly out there saying, please stop cold calling, stop cold email, stop cold contacting, and get introductions. Well, that's controversial too, because a lot of my other friends will say, well, cold calling works and emailing works and all of those things, but isn't it easier to have an introduction? Someone saying, hey, this guy Will is really cool. You should talk to him. He really benefited one of my clients, or he really benefited me. Give him the time. Wouldn't you rather have 10 of those a day than 100 cold calls? So we have to really think about what we're doing. And I think that's part of the problem in business in general today. We don't stop often enough and think about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what the outcomes are, and how we can get better outcomes. So we continue to pound the phones and pound the email, which is drowning everyone in more muck.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that one. Click up here to watch another 5 Steps to Thrive in Sales video. Click down here to watch the full interview where all these clips came from.